here.
Literal only one.
That's right. And look at that. He knows how to adjust a camera. Look at that. That's awesome.
Too bad I don't have
Dun-dun-dun.
Look at me with my tie. I'm going to take over the banking industry.
Was I supposed to wear a tie?
No. You're good. Well, tell us about your book, because you have a very, very, very interesting book, and I wanted to have you on today here with our good friends on Radio Xenu, and I know that our co-host, I guess I should
Resident
say.
Joykov.
Resident
Well, I guess I'm the
Joykov.
only one here.
You're
so
the only one here.
Co-host is fine. I'll
Well,
take it.
I have to ask you, what words am I allowed to say?
You can say whatever
Let's see.
you want.
There's fuck, tits, shit, ass, turd, twat.
Okay, we're good then.
Yeah, no, you're good. Really, any English language word would
Okay.
suffice.
Hey, we just had Mike Game on this program.
Yeah, just
so
practice your vernacular any way you want to use it.
anything you want to say after he's been on, you're
Yeah.
fine.
Okay. Well, my new book is called Orgasm for Life.
Can I stop you there and say awesome? Because I feel like every day I orgasm constantly until I pass out.
Well, the issue is that men are doing so, but women aren't.
Oh, yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. I'm terrible. We always have a race, and I finish first every single time. Every single time.
Who gets there first?
It's always me. I wish it wasn't, unfortunately. No self-control, so.
That's right.
So, well, this book is to bridge the gap between men and women because, as we know, not only do men and women look differently, we think differently, we communicate differently, we have different desires, we think of romance and intimacy differently. So this is treating men like PCs and women like Macintosh computers.
Oh, okay.
And the book is the interface to allow a direct
I'm glad
connect.
that you did the Macintosh for the women, because that's way more user-friendly.
I thought so.
Yeah, no, good job on that. I like the euphemism. The colloquialism, if you will. It's great.
Thanks.
That's right. We're educating our audience at the same time, entertaining them.
Yeah, I actually have had some rough little things with my girlfriend. I feel like a lot of it has to do with when the partner stops thinking about the other person first.
Sometimes that happens from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of things that most people are not aware of, and one of the issues is that over 3 million Americans, just Americans alone, have been molested as children. And I'm not going to go. This is not a tangent about molestation, but what it's about is that has ramifications long term in the female body, and trauma. It's stored in the cells, and it can make orgasm impossible and pleasure painful.
It's actually to bring up a really personal point. But my mom had a really tough childhood. Her stepdad actually had taken advantage of her at one point, and so something actually that echoed throughout my childhood experience, as far as growing up with somebody who's trying to not only mold somebody but deal with that personal detachment as well.
Well, interesting you say that about detachment, because the reason that I'm doing this work is because that was my experience, and I've done a lot of work. I've written another book about it and my journey, but this book is for the people that haven't done, that internal work.
Mm-hmm.
And dealing with the issues in adulthood. It's a lot harder, to do things on your own. So it's bringing some subjects up into the forefront of their brain, so that they can understand why things are happening the way they are.
And deal with it, right?
To give you an idea of statistics, 80% of women fake orgasm. Mm-hmm. 20% of women do not have orgasms ever through sex.
Wow.
Yeah. And
all I gotta say is, good thing we hung up with Mike Game before we got her.
Thank God.
Got her on.
Dear God.
Oh my God. He'd have been like, let me tell you something, bitch. None of the women I've ever been with faked orgasms. He would have.
because I've never been with a woman. Yeah, that's basically how it would
Go
turn out.
ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
actually, I really want you to know it's awesome. I totally respect your point of view as far as everything's concerned. Yeah, it's been a lot of emotional hang-ups, and obviously my childhood, because she was the only parent I grew up with, so that's awesome to hear you really trying to empower women like that.
Well, and here's the thing is that when we have issues like that in our childhood, we have difficulties trusting men. And when you don't trust men, then you don't let men in.
Yeah.
And there isn't that deep intimacy.
And doesn't it suck that actually, really, being a man, we kind of suck. We're terrible people.
We're terrible people.
There's a lot of us that are really good, though, and it's tough to really break that stigma because a lot of women have unfairly been treated, and then when a good guy comes around, I don't feel like we're given that same respect.
I agree with that, and that's the other thing that I'm talking about in this book is that men are not the enemy, and if we go through life and feel that they are, then that's the kind of person that we're going to attract.
Right.
And
absolutely,
it's kind of like you are what you think.
Yeah.
And I've had lots of experience with marriage and divorce. I've been married and divorced 4 times. And each time, I learned more about myself. It took me into my 40s before I finally got over the blame thing. Because
right.
I blame the men for all of the issues. Not that it was all their fault.
It's probably 70% the guy. Let's be honest. It's probably 70, 80%.
But what I do want to talk about is marriage and sex, and that to keep your relationship spicy in the bedroom, there's a lot of things that need to change. And the 10-minute quickies are going to have to go by the wayside.
Oh my God, 10 minutes? That's way too long. Who said that? That's ridiculous. I don't have that much time on my lunch break.
I don't have that much time on the lunch break. That's great.
I have to ask you guys a question. Have
Sure.
you any idea how long it takes the average woman to come to orgasm?
I would say 15 to 20 minutes or so. Pretty close to that.
Yeah, I'd say about 20 minutes or so.
Well, you are half right.
Oh.
It's 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Yes, for the average woman.
Dear God,
And
was this a 5K?
This is a 5K.
No, it's marathon, guys. But here's the deal.
It's
What
not a
you
sprint, it's a marathon.
It's a marathon. It's a marathon. And what that means is a lot more foreplay.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's more play, more fun.
And I've always found that, and I try to preach that in the bedroom. As long as I'm putting my partner first and trying to make her feel happy, then I feel better.
Well, that's good. I mean, that is good.
I'm still terrible in the bedroom, but it's a good way to act about it.
Well, one of the things that I'm giving in this book is some hints as to where to place your aim and where those special body parts are. And most women don't even know. And the G-spot's a big one that most women are unaware of. It took me into my 50s to recognize that way back when I had an orgasm, it was actually the G-spot orgasm. Somebody said I peed on them, but I didn't. It's not urine. So what comes out from the G-spot is not. It's just like
the
men,
most
it's the
amazing
ejaculate.
thing that has ever happened to humankind. That's what comes out. It's a testament to your achievement as a man. That's what comes out.
Yes! That is exactly what it is. It's basically a validation for hard work.
Well, yeah, right. I would feel like I'd feel like an accomplished mate if I had something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
That's a big deal.
It is.
Job
And
well done.
That's what she said.
Some women never ever have a G-spot orgasm.
And I feel terrible for those women.
Well, that's the thing that I talked about earlier is that for the women that have been molested, when you start to stimulate that area, it hurts. And it takes a lot of patience, gentleness, and kindness to get through. And I give you step-by-step directions on how to work with your partner and heal that area so that the pain goes away and it becomes pleasuring. And that's the issue with most women, is that if we're having vaginal sex and there's no foreplay, and that can be fun sometimes, usually what happens for the woman is that G spot starts to get stimulated right around the time that you guys are coming. And then it's over. So
I know, what a disappointment, right? You're like, oh, I was just there. I fucking hate hearing that sentiment.
And
Just
that
gonna say that.
disappointment, what does
I
it
was
lead
just
to?
there.
It leads to frustration and anger and resentment over a long time.
And then
long
black
period of time.
eyes and ruined furniture and broken lamps.
Broken lamps.
I don't know. Do you guys not have that in your home? Is that not a natural? Is that a real thing?
I want to ask you, gentlemen, so what would happen if you had sex for, say, 30 years and didn't have an orgasm? How would that be?
Oh
for
my
you?
God! Wait, can I, Jiggy? Do you have this, or can I answer
Oh,
this?
you go right
Oh,
on ahead.
all
I
right.
cannot wait to hear your extra
okay,
reaction.
just to make sure I'm clear, if I had sex for 30 years and never had an orgasm,
Never had an orgasm.
I would probably rape and pillage a really big country. That would be like the most frustrating experience of all time. I can only.
would be
I can
Hitler
only imagine.
or Napoleon?
I would definitely feel like if we're gonna be completely candid, I would feel like my partner didn't have enough emotional investment in me to want that to happen. Just to be serious.
And truly, that happens for many, many, many women. They never know what it feels like to have an orgasm. Can you imagine?
Yeah, and to, and even further than that, like if that was something your partner had to recognize, and then not having them say, okay, well, what do I need to do? What is it going to take for me to make that for you?
There are lots of YouTube videos on YouTube about how to.
Oh, I've seen them all.
Have you? I have one also.
I know, I've seen that 7 times.
It's not pornographic, it's instructional about the female orgasm, but it talks about how to stimulate the G spot and what to do, what motion to use. It's called the female orgasm.
Excuse me,
Wow.
I've never heard of that. Can you say that one more time?
I've never heard of it.
Oh, wait, we've been talking about that.
Well, we are about out of time here, but I want to thank you for coming on today. This has been definitely a fun and educational.
What a gratifying field to get into. It's awesome to see people. Even though it is a sexual field or anything, it's really great to have somebody that is so invested in other people's well-being, regardless of what scenario it is. It really is comforting.
Well, I got to say, it makes me feel so fulfilled to be able to help other women and to have a fulfilling and satisfying life, because when you're happy in the bedroom, then your relationship expands.
Yeah,
your
absolutely.
communication outside the bedroom gets
100%.
better too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Happy people, happy